Welcome back. I'm not gonna preface. I think it's pretty obvious from how we sound. We have been recovering from sickness. I promise we wouldn't be doing this if we were still actually contagious. It was just like minor problems. But anyway, not the point.
Yes.
That's just fun lore. Today we are back to talk about, first off, kind of fall anime in the fact of One Punch Man and Sanda, and then also some cool One Piece news.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. So, welcome back.
We love a certain show.
One Piece.
But we also cover other anime.
Delicious in Dungeon.
Apothecary Diaries.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Soul Leveling. We like to spiel.
Exactly.
Covering seasonal anime, this is Seasonal Spiels.
In case you forgot who we are, I'm Quincy Lell.
And I'm Audrey Williams.
And obviously this is Seasonal Spiels.
Yeah.
So, let's start off with One Punch Man. So, just in the fact that, like, yes, it's probably super disappointing for everyone to be like, oh, these first 4 episodes of Season 3 are terrible. They took 6 years. Why is it not super better? Guys. Maybe try understanding what the anime industry is. And researching who's the problem here. Because it's sure is not the animators. You wanted some background? So, let's first start off. This production for the season is actually probably not as bad as MAPPA, but it might as well have been as that leak for how they treated their animators during the production for season 2 of JJK. It's really bad. So first off, let's just get the timeline straight. Last season, season 2 came out 2019, produced by JC Staff Studio. And it was, people were like, oh, it's not as good as season 1 Madhouse. I'm like, yeah, it's a new studio, and yeah, they didn't have the same budget, but it looked pretty good. It was paced pretty well. I thought season 2 was fine. It was definitely watchable. I would also argue this season is also pretty watchable, except for the first episode. First episode's not great, but
fair.
I will say what I have been happy to see is that each episode has been clearly improving. Not like it's not your free runs, it's not even your solo leveling while animated. It's definitely more like, how do I put this? It's like expect Way of the House Husband, and you'll be pleasantly surprised that it's better than that.
Okay,
because it's actually not just a slideshow.
Yeah,
but half it is. And the reason I'm not as upset is because, one, if you like One Punch Man, you're gonna watch it anyway. And I like One Punch Man, so I'm gonna watch it anyway. It's not the worst thing to come out. Believe me, I've watched better animated, worse stories. Y'all shut your mouths because you have to. Second off, so anyway, continue. It's the same studio producing it. However, y'all don't realize who calls the shots. Why has there been no season 3 before now? Why is it so late? Why is it so crap? Guys, it's the big bucks who pay and demand that these things are made. Bandai Namco, to name a specific big bucks company. So let's just point this out. The studio only began production on the season this freaking year. That's insane. These things take at least 2 years, unless you're MAPPA and want to kill your animators. But usually these productions take way longer to make a decent 12-episode season.
To make a full season.
To make like a full core. Much, I guess core and season are the same sometimes. I'm assuming for One Punch Man it's a typical 12-episode season. And so they had less than a year to prepare for this. That's insane. I think they made a pretty decently, especially considering the fights haven't happened, which I'm sure they put most of their budget into. Considering those have not happened, these first 4 episodes, and like I've said, I can see noticeably they've gotten better, which as they should if you're going to sparse your budget, if you're going to divide your already little measly budget to what should be animated best. I think they're doing a pretty good job to be like, yeah, these beginning episodes don't need it because it's just exposition with barely any fights, if that. You don't need it because what I know is coming up in this Monster Association arc is way stacked list of fights that are supposed to be well animated. But anyways, I say supposed to. But the problem with this is not JC Staff, the studio. I've seen so many stories about how people are death threatening this director, and he's like, yeah.
Oh, I haven't.
And the director has been like, oh yeah, I give up. Apparently, I'm quitting my job because of y'all. And I'm like, what the frick is wrong with you people?
I didn't know it was getting that bad.
I don't know if that's verbatim. This is me listening to other social media stuff. So it's not the same resource as what I'm saying right now about who's at fault. But it's obviously Bandai Namco at fault.
Yeah.
Guys, who demanded that JC Staff make it in such a short deadline? Oh, sure, they did that to themselves. Right. No, it's Bandai Namco. They're like, yeah, put it out at this time. They wouldn't push it back. I would be way happier if, in that scenario, Bandai Namco was just like, oh, make it for next year. Then they would have been able to breathe and not... And it would have looked it's just the worst. It's the worst case scenario for them and for us, right? We don't like the product. They don't like the product. No one's happy except for Bandai Namco, who spent barely any money and forced this to happen.
Yeah, also, it's just another case of corporate greed where it's but also in this case, it's a little bit backwards because, Well, I guess people are gonna watch it either way, but it's a little, like...
Yeah.
Why would you not invest time in it to make more profit in return when the product is actually good?
Because it's been 6 years and they're just a corporation who's
Yeah.
there for greed.
I mean, that's why.
They're there to shove out the
it makes
littlest
less
paycheck
sense.
for, like, what they think is gonna be decent enough for people.
Right. I mean, they did the same... Well, I don't know if they did the same thing with Blue Lock, but I'm pretty sure
They were the ones.
Yeah.
Guys,
they were the ones responsible
they're
for why
trial
Blue
and
Lock
erroring
looked bad.
this. They're seeing, how little can we shove out and how quick of a timeline to make the crappiest product that people will still buy stuff for.
Exactly.
It's insane. And because they have the name One Punch Man, people aren't going to care the fact that they're the ones who are responsible for these terrible productions. They're just going to buy the merch anyway. Mm-hmm. Which, I love one, but I hate that Bandai Namco is getting involved in their story and their adaptation. It sucks for them.
Yeah.
Too. Anywho, so that's disappointing. But let's go into some happy news. One Piece news, specifically. Guys, if you've been paying attention, you've been paying attention. So, new release schedule.
Ooh.
Kind of the same. So, let me put this out there. Because they went on hiatus for, like, the remastering Fishman Island arc, actually how many episodes we're getting this year just for Egghead is about the same, that they're shifting to this new schedule. So, the Toei Anime is like, yo, we know this format isn't working because there's not as many chapters, and we bloated Wano to death. Fun fact, they even showed an image of, like, how many manga chapters versus episodes, which was greater.
Oh, wait. I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, more chapters or more episodes of Wano? If you paid attention to my hands, you'll know which one is higher.
More chapters. Or wait, no, more
episodes. Because they adapted less than a chapter per episode.
Oh.
And they've been doing that for years for other arcs. Egghead,
Yeah, that actually makes sense,
the reason people have been so excited for Egghead's hiatus and pacing isn't because they want one chapter per episode, but they don't want less than a chapter per episode because it's even worse.
Right.
As they've seen from Dressrosa, Wano.
Yeah, I was gonna say that makes
problems.
sense with what I've watched of Wano and how,
Yeah. This is why One Piece exists, unfortunately. So, like, Toei isn't really changing the pacing, it's just being more transparent of, like, its scheduling and the fact that it's not doing these remakes in between. It's gonna devote full time to the new format of 2 cours per year, of about 26 episodes per year. Kind of what they're doing right now with Egghead, except they did the remake to, like, pretend as if they were still doing stuff.
Yeah.
I say pretend because it wasn't, like, the best remake.
Yeah, I didn't hear a ton about it, so I didn't...
I mean...
I didn't hear that it was, like, the best thing ever.
Well, because it really wasn't. All they did was redraw some lines, add a little more detail, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then they re-edited it. Reshading and re-edited, and added a new intro and outro, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, okay.
That works,
but, like,
I guess.
So, like, I'm happy they're moving away from that do one every year, especially because the chapters Oda releases have been less and less from his health and time spent on other projects. So, of course, if he's making less chapters, you have less material to also cover in your episodes, and so they've been very transparent about the fact that they don't want to fall below one chapter per episode. Now, do I wish they adapted 2 to 3, preferably 3 per episode, as every other modern anime does? Yeah, but that's probably not going to happen from Toei. Yeah, because they're probably not going to wait. Like, they're probably not going to move further away to do, like, no adaptations per year. Like, I get that. But what they're doing is now they're going to go on hiatus January through March of 2026 and come back in April, kind of like with the Egghead thing, except a shorter hiatus, to pick back up. And then they'll do the 2 cour format of, like, 12, 13 episodes, 2 cours per year, and stay with that. To me, that seems to be tied with LDAF. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. I'm sure there's some resource out there. And most of my news has been, like, sporadic, but I got the first source from Crunchyroll, which we'll put up, who interviewed a producer. And the poster is very clearly LDAF poster, so that's why I say this. Is, like, even without me confirming it, just looking at the poster, I'm pretty sure this is time for when the LDAF arc starts. Sorry for spoilers. Y'all knew it was coming.
Right.
Come on. Anyway, especially been watching Egghead. Y'all know it was coming. I wonder where we're going next. Sorry. So anyway, that's the big news for the anime. There's also live action news. We finally have a release date for season 2, and it is March 10th. Sooner than I thought. I thought we were going to get it, like, May. I thought they were going to,
like, later.
I thought they were going to time it more summertime, but I'm happy for this by all means. The sooner we get it, the sooner we get season 3. Like, I'm happy, and I'm really happy that my prediction was right, that we were going to get it around April, May, it's a little earlier, which I'm not upset about. So, obviously, season 2 for live action is called One Piece Into the Grand Line. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, that is where they're going.
Yeah. So. Straight from Netflix's mouth. So I haven't seen anything else trailer-wise, but we'll obviously, so long as it's not during winter break or Thanksgiving break, we'll cover it, like, probably either during the season finale or next season if any other news drops that we can cover in our timeline.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for One Piece. We'll go on to Sanda and then we'll wrap it up with a little teaser.
So Sanda is interesting. I think as of recording this, there are either 5 or probably only 5, actually, I want to say.
Well, Much Man only has 4, so that sounds about right.
But either way, I've only watched the first 4 episodes of Sanda, and it's been like 2 weeks, so I don't remember every single plot point that happens, but...
Just give the rundown.
Yeah.
Obviously, spoilers.
The basic rundown before that, it's by the same... I didn't know this before going into it, but it's by the same mangaka who did Beastars.
Yes.
And knowing that, and then watching it is really interesting, because...
The only thing I knew about it is that it's animated by Science Saru. And I was like, so I wanted to see it. Stupid licensing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's... anyway, we're not going to talk about where it's at. But yeah, the basic plot, it's about Santa Claus, but it also isn't.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, like, the main character, so the setting takes place, it's like...
Dystopia.
Yeah, it's like over, like, maybe 50 or over 50 years into the future.
Interesting.
Specifically in Japan. And the basic, like, idea that we're, like, they kind of drop this each episode, but, like, the main characters that you follow, like, it's Sanda, I think Fuyumura is the girl's name.
Don't know, but I trust you.
Yeah, and there's another guy that shows up, I think, episode 2. It's a whole thing. I'm not gonna explain all that.
Santa, basically.
Yeah,
got it.
Essentially. But, like, they're living in a, like, dystopian era of Japan. I forget what period they call it. But it's, like, they talk about, like, how the climate has affected, like, there's one line that one person has where they're talking about, like, you know, in the past, like, the seasons used to change, and, like, now they kind of don't, which is like, oh, okay.
Earth
they kind of, like,
problems.
Yeah, they kind of, like, give it, like, that's how you figure out what the situation around them is, like, people will just have random, which is how exposition works, they don't, but, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that, like, it's a world where, like, so far in the future, like, climate change has had, like, a deep effect on the world, like, the birth rate has gone down significantly, like, the main,
sounds very realistic.
I don't want to call it, like, the main conflict, but, like, the focal point of the show, I should say, other than the main character being Santa, is that, the birth rate has gone down to the point where there are only 50,000, people, I don't remember how they categorize children, I want to say, like, people under 18, probably.
Minors.
There are only 50,000 minors, like, in Japan, and so their society, like, reflects that, like, they place a very high value, like, not that we don't already place a high value on youth, but it's, like, to the point where, like, these children have, like, relationships set up for them already, so like, very much...
So it's like an extremist version of modern China.
Yeah.
Without communism, of course, because it's Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Basically. It's interesting, because I like, I like I'm saying, I like the premise and I like the way it's explored, but it's very funny because it's explored in the funniest way, like...
Yeah.
Like, you have...
Sounds funny already.
Yeah. Well, I say funny, but, like, the way that... Basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, the way that they explore this, like, very serious, like, dystopian premise is through the main character turning into Santa Claus, and I'm like, only Paro Itagaki could do something like that and keep my attention.
Yeah.
Because, like, first episode, I'll just, like, kind of run down that one. I'm not gonna do the other 3, but, like, first episode, you have a kid... named Sanda, who's, like, just,
lame.
No, not really. He's, like, co-class presidents with, Fuyumura, who we learn more about later. But the, like, opening scene is just them, like, staying after school, cleaning up the classroom.
Typical.
And then Fuyumura pulls a knife out on him.
Oh! Not typical!
Yeah.
Cool.
And is, like, chasing him around the classroom, trying to stab him. Hold on, we'll get there.
She's not a psychopath? You don't have to answer that. Keep
no,
going.
But yes.
Nope, just keep going.
She's chasing him around the classroom with a knife because it's not explained how she knows this, but, like, basically what we find out is that Sanda is a descendant, like, far off from Santa Claus.
Sure.
And so he has the ability...
In Japan, sure.
Yeah, I know, that's the other weird thing.
Can we not be in, Czechoslovakia or somewhere?
Right.
Somewhere more... Okay,
somewhere where Christmas is associated with Santa.
Actually, can we be Russian Santa from Rise of the Guardians? That would be the best version of Santa.
I mean, he kind of does turn into that. Like, he turns into a buff Santa.
You know, maybe Russian Santa did come to Japan. I can buy this.
Yeah.
I can buy this. Keep going.
But, like, we don't know how she knows this, but, like, she finds out somehow that, like, he's a descendant of Santa, and so she, like, runs around the classroom, like, trying to stab him with a knife because, like, the contingent for him turning into Santa is that he has to be wearing something red. And so
her blood is red?
Yes.
Okay.
And, like, that's her goal. Like, she's trying to,
Why didn't she just buy something red and shove it on him?
I don't, because...
Is that not harder than buying... Is that not easier than buying a knife and sneaking it in school?
Well, okay, that's another thing. I think, like, the way that, like, here, I'll get into this later, but, like, she succeeds, she does stab him, and he doesn't die, but, like, he turns into Santa.
And he heals himself, or is he still stabbed?
I guess.
That's not, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
But, like, she turns him into, but, like, her motivation for doing this is that, there's a girl at their school named, I don't remember her full name, but they call her Ono in the dub, she disappeared. It's not said how, like, long ago this happened, but she basically disappeared and nobody knows if she's dead or alive.
Oh, okay.
And Ono and Fuyamura were very close before she disappeared. And so Fuyamura is, like, her motivation for wanting him to be Santa is, like, you have to fulfill the wishes of any child, and so you have to help me find Ono.
Sounds
and she's
not
like,
great. Sounds like servitude.
I mean, a little bit, but, like, she's also, like, stabbing him to get there.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like any other Santa plot, I'd be like, yeah, you are supposed to help children. This just sounds creepy.
A little bit. It's a little crazy, but I think outside of Fuyamura being, like, insane, I think another part of the reason they have her, like, do it this way is because it, like, leads you into the idea that, like, because Japan is, like, placing such a high value on youth and on children, the laws around, like, minors have changed to the point where, like, minors can't be, I forget, like, the specifics of it, but it's essentially, like, minors can kind of get away with any crime now, because, like...
Sure.
Yeah, like, it's...
Even killing another minor. I feel like that should be the one that shouldn't, like, happen, because that's the one they're trying to protect.
Probably. I forget, just like, how they word it.
So maybe don't stab minors.
The law, at least, like, from what I... Like, the law around minors is very loose, to where they can kind of get away with a lot.
Sure.
I don't know if murder is one of those things.
We had established this was a dystopia. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
But that's, like, you have him turn into Santa, and then she's like, oh, it worked, now I have somebody to help me find Ono, and then that's the first episode.
It's a pretty good hook, I will say.
Yeah, because, like, the chasing him around with a knife, that happens, like, maybe minute 4 of the episode, so I'm like, that's crazy.
So it's, like, okay, this makes sense why Science Saru is adapting it. It's very Dandadan, where it's very weird, quirky, in your face, but works if it's done right.
It's very, like... Like, the way that, what I'm saying about, like, Paru Inagaki being the one who can do this, so that it's, like, such an insane thing, but I'm, like, I like the world that it's centered around.
I'm poking at you, but, like, it's because I'm curious.
Yeah, it's very, like, it's deserving of being poked at, for sure, but, like,
it's not like, and it's basically, here's how you know my standards if it's worth poking at. If it's My Hero and above. My standards are kind of low, but, like...
Yeah.
They're like, hey, if I think you have something there that could be good, I'll poke at it.
Right.
Pretty typical. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
And it is very, like, even from that episode on, like, you get more details about, like, how, like, Fuyamura, I think...
I'm sure there's gotta be more lore, for sure.
Oh, yeah, like, there's also episode 4, like, you find out that there's, I forget what they call it. There's a name for it, but they have basically, like, a Santa assassination team. That's been, like, killing Santa Claus over generations, and so there's one guy... Sorry, I've been coughing
You know what I
a lot.
want it to sound... You know what I want the acronym to be?
What?
Assassinate Santa Squad.
I mean...
Wouldn't that be kind of funny? I feel like that'd be kind of funny.
But yeah, it's like, sorry if my eyes are also teary. I was coughing, that I probably coughed out.
It's okay, we're not doing great, but we're here for y'all. We're here for y'all.
Yeah, but either way, like, you get, episode 4, or maybe it's end of episode 3, actually, that you get introduced to this, but you find out that there's, like, a Santa assassination squad that has been hunting him down for generations, and the principal is the one sending the assassination squad after Sanda, because, like, he finds out.
Ah, okay.
Like, there's a whole...
So every adult is in on this? Or every authority figure? Anywho.
The principal's weird, also, by the way.
Sure.
He's, like, 90 years old, but he's gotten, like, so much Botox injected that, like, his face looks like he's maybe 30. But his hands and the rest of it... I mean, you don't see the rest of his body, but, like, his hands are really wrinkled.
Sorry, I'm just picturing that.
Yeah, it's gross.
I'm already impressed he's alive at 90, but sure.
The principal's concerned about this because, like, when Sanda turns into Santa, he, like, destroys a classroom, and so that's how he finds out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, if you're in a classroom, cameras.
Right.
So fair.
And I think there's more to it, like, because he has, like, him specifically being invested in killing Santa. I'm sure there's more to that,
there's more.
but like we haven't found that out
Or
yet.
maybe it's every adult. Maybe they're all fanatical about killing Santa.
Yeah.
They should be the squad. By the way, I really want the assassination team to be called Assassinate Santa Squad.
I hope it is. It probably isn't. But
I know, but I wanted to. Or if not that, I want it to be a funny acronym. Like, come on.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a pun.
I'll find it and see if I can.
Okay.
It's probably because I mean, this is the premise so far, so
Yes.
I'm sure the acronym is funny.
I'm sure it's very
I
vulgar.
don't remember it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
it's an insane show, but like border like baseline.
So try and watch it if you can find it, preferably not illegally. If it's on High Dive, let us know because that's kind of. I hope it's there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, good luck.
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere. I won't tell you how to access it, but you can access it as you choose, I guess is all I'll say. Again, so next episode we'll be talking about the last Ghibli Fest film, The Boy and the Heron, with our special guest coming back. I say here because if you watch that episode, you will understand.
She's in the middle.
She's in the middle. We will also not be sounding too great during that recording, but I promise it'll still be worth checking out. And if not, you can tune in for our season finale, which will be coming out after. Stay tuned for that info in The Boy and the Heron ending, obviously, to get the timeline on that, because that will be a little different. But, anywho, thanks for checking us out. Cool.